We started late as we had to do a car shuffle all the way to keep our carts drawn. The weather was beautiful, but the river levels were really low. The Collingwood River is a beautiful river in its own right, complete with its own little Grade 2 falls, which we enjoyed on that afternoon. It was past 6 o'clock by now, and we were aware of a commercial group being in front of us, so we were keen to find a camp before the confluence with the Franklin River. Since the water levels were so low, we still encountered quite a few obstacles, just like we had done on trips previously on other areas. Around 6:30 we managed to find this beautiful little site perched above the side of the river, where we found a bit of sand in order to set our campsite.
Fantastic real estate, look at that.
We had planned a 10-day trip to include time to explore and just to take in the beautiful nature of both the Collingwood and the Franklin rivers. We just loved sitting on the side of this stream, which wasn't running very fast, looking at the beautiful rock formations, the slow flow, and later on we witnessed the moon coming out, which was a real delight. After breakfast and packing up, we were faced with the usual ritual of pumping up our boats, which all up took about an hour and a half every day. I don't know what he's laughing about. The Collingwood continued in its lovely pools, interspersed with a few minor rapids, on another beautiful summer morning, which we thoroughly enjoyed. It wasn't long before we reached the junction with the Franklin. After having a look at the campsite at the confluence of the two rivers, we decided to go up the Franklin, which was quite easy, to look at the Indaba passage, which in itself reminded us a bit of the Irenabyss, which we're going to see in a couple of days. Stunningly beautiful. A real delight to take our time to saunter up this river. We got out of our pack rafts and wandered up the river just by foot. The water, as you can see, is crystal clear, and in the morning sunlight it was beautiful to watch. Here we are back on the Franklin, and soon to be confronted by similar scenes that we did in the Collingwood. Beautiful little gorges interspersed with little pools and occasional rapids. These sections are interspersed with two 1-metre drops, of which the second one provided a bit of entertainment. It was my turn, and based on what Nick had done, it should be easy, but no.
Nicely done! You right? Got it all on film. It's all good. Sing out if you're drowning. Alright, I'll stop filming.
It's still going, I'm out now. After my little dip, we continued to go down the river, experiencing various sections of the river.
Coming into Flanagan's Surprise, which looks like a sieve. Flanagan's Surprise!
Next up was Boulder Brace. I think the name was worse than it actually was, given the low water that we had experienced and will continue to experience. Given the low level of the water, we continued to get stuck and the only thing you can do when you get stuck is to go backwards and forwards, as I showed you. The upper section of the Franklin River is not that well known, but it's got lots of different place names, and this particular ravine, Aethesia Ravine, was beautiful. And soon followed by Angel Rain Cavern. What I liked is the reflections of the water and how they interplay on the rock faces and the cliffs above. And lots of insects to keep us company. There were lots of grade 2 rapids which were fun to run, interspersed with logs, later on portages, and of course beautiful pools in between. We had heard a lot about the next section, the log jam. Given the low level of water, we managed to shoot underneath it, but before I actually took my raft down there, I watched Nick come down first, underneath the log. The one thing that we found going down this river, especially at this low water level, was the number of logs in the river. We soon had more to negotiate, and this next one was a bit of fun. We had learnt by going backwards first, you could crouch underneath a lot easier.
That's actually not a bad trick, going backwards.
No, it's better than going forward and ripping your nose off.
Wow. This is magnificent. Look at those pins up there. This is a huge one.
This is the section of the river where we first started to notice huon pines, and some of them were quite big specimens, which we thoroughly enjoyed. Just before morning tea, we caught up with a commercial group, which were making hard work of the low river levels. Here we are at the Loddon River Junction, where we're going to camp for the night. It was early afternoon, so we had tons and tons of time to go up the Loddon River to explore this little offshoot. So we took our boats up as far as we could, and wherever we had to go against the current, obviously we had to get out of the boat and push up the rapid. After about 300 metres we noticed this beautiful big huon pine with a monstrous base, as you can see. We went as far as we could up Loddon River, and the last few stretches we had to swim up in order to reach the final part of the gorge that we thoroughly enjoyed, but were unable to take any photos because we couldn't take our cameras with us.
That was good fun.
Back at the campsite on the Franklin River, I couldn't help myself taking a few more photos underneath the clear waters of the Franklin. The rest of the afternoon we just laid about. On Sunday morning we received our forecasted showers. The river continued the same way, with its challenges mainly in portaging and getting stuck on logs and other various bits and pieces, but we still had lots of nice little rapids to run through. There are continuous additions in water to the Franklin River, and we found quite a few, and this little creek was a delight to explore. The showers persisted, so we needed to put our shark skins on. Around the next bend in the river there was another beautiful tributary which we had fun exploring. I was amazed at what the spiders could do to draw their webs across streams. We'd heard a lot about this rapid, but like with all rapids, you get to the start of it, you get out, you have a look and make an assessment. And usually we ended up carting our boats. Portaging at this stage, the weight of our boats was still quite considerable, so it was made tougher going, but nevertheless we got through it relatively quickly. Descension Gorge marked the entrance to the famed Irenabyss, which we were very keen to see. But just before we caught up with the commercial crowd again, we were having a lot more trouble than we were. There are lots of waterfalls that flow into the Franklin, but this little dribble. We reached the Irenabyss just the same time as the commercial group. We waited for the group to go to their campsite and we came back up the Irenabyss to explore and appreciate this mighty chasm just by ourselves.